You're listening to Women in Wellness, a program to help you create gorgeous growth for your blissful business in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Gabby, holistic health expert and founder of Women in Wellness, a one-of-a-kind course and community designed to empower and inform you about how to build a purposeful and profitable holistic business. I'm so excited for today's interview. I have an awesome guest, Linda Scheele. Linda is a certified yoga instructor and founder of My Restorative Yoga. She specializes in physical, emotional, and spiritual healing through yoga. Welcome, Linda.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us today. I am super excited about the work that you're doing. I know that you have a lot of different things going on, but before we get into what's happening now, can you tell us why you got into wellness and what that journey was like?
Well, it happened about 13 years ago. I had lost my daughter to addictions. Actually, she was bulimic and alcoholic. And about a year after that happened, someone had given me, actually it was an accountant that worked for me, had given me the book, The Power of Intention, and by Wayne Dyer. And I know that you have read this book, as many other people have. And that really transformed my whole thinking. It was an amazing, amazing thing that happened. And then I would take this book as I was traveling. I was working at that time, I owned a food brokerage company. And I would travel up and down the United States. I'd either fly or I'd drive. And when I was always alone. And when I got somewhere, either on the plane or in a restaurant, I would, strike up conversations with other business people. And invariably, people never had a problem telling me their deepest secrets. And I would hear about their divorces or their loss of money or that. And I would always talk to them and refer them back to The Power of Intention. I always had the book with me. Through the years, I gave away about 12 books, but the reaction was really incredible because people would call me or email me saying, "Oh my goodness, you saved my life. I can't believe I haven't felt this good in years." And that's when it kind of started festering me in a little bit. I could really maybe help somebody, but I never thought that it would go where it is today. So I continued on. I have had 3 businesses. And so the last business I had was a wine company. I owned a distribution company in Pompano. And when I closed that down last year, I really wasn't sure what direction I was going in, but I had been doing yoga for 5 years and I loved it. I loved the balance it gave me and the meditative part. And so I thought, well, I'll be a yoga teacher. And so I decided I would become certified in restorative and chair yoga. And then I could go and help, the elderly or whoever disabled, whoever needed it. So I did that. And then I realized that I wanted more of a deeper type to go with. My sister had been diagnosed with breast cancer last year. And I got thinking about that, and I thought, wow, that would be really wonderful. But I also knew that I didn't have enough credibility or experience to move forward. So I decided I would find a school where I could get my 200-hour teaching certification. And the universe has a way of just pushing you where you're supposed to go. And I needed it done like yesterday because I couldn't wait. Some of them take a year, some 6 months. I'm going, no, I don't have that kind of time. And I found this online. It was Yoga Hari's ashram in Miramar in Florida. And you had to live there for 6 weekends. Well, I had no idea. I looked at the curriculum. You get up at 5 in the morning and you don't stop until 9:30. And I thought, dear God in heaven, I'll drop dead before I ever get through this. But I didn't. It was the most empowering, transformational time I have ever spent. Have you ever walked, and you probably have, into a place and thought, I belong here. The energy is so incredible. So it was very exciting. I loved learning. So every day we had probably 4 hours of asanas, at least 2 to 3 hours of lectures. The chanting. He played the instruments, he was amazing. And we all sang together. There was so much wonderful, wonderful things that I learned from him. He was a great teacher.
That's amazing.
So I got that and then decided, I found out about cancer yoga. Diana Ross, who has since passed away, had a school up in New York. So I got on a plane and I got up there and I got certified in breast cancer yoga because I thought all of this knowledge I need to know exactly what I'm saying and doing in order to move forward. If nothing else, in all the businesses I've been in, I always wanted to know everything I could about the product. Not so much the business, which we'll discuss in a few minutes, but the product itself. So going into anatomy, I thought I'll never learn this stuff. Well, I find that's the most fascinating thing that I've learned, how incredible our bodies are. It's so exciting to me. I'm very, very passionate. You can tell.
Yeah, you're like glowing as you talk about it.
So I've had a lot of experience teaching. I'm teaching in a couple of addiction centers, one in Boca and one in West Palm. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I started a cancer workshop up in Jupiter at Scheele, which is just an amazing place. And I just finished that, and next week I start a cancer class up there on every Thursday. I'm teaching a class in Wellington at Moksha. So I've got, several things, but trying to get experience, and I love it. I really do. So it was sort of like on its way. It always was going in this direction. I just never really did it. And something behind go, that's where you belong.
And you also have some certifications in Reiki as well, right?
I am. I've got the 4 certifications in yoga, and I just finished Reiki 2. So I really want to go on and be a master in Reiki. That just is incredible. First of all, I never really knew what Reiki was. I thought you were in charge of healing somebody, and that just thought I never can do that. But it isn't that at all. It's an energy that goes through you and helps people heal themselves, actually. That's an amazing thing. So I'm doing that too.
That's so exciting. How do you maintain the energy to teach 18 classes a week and build your business and take care of yourself? Like, how is that even possible?
I try not to think about that part of it. I just keep moving. No, it's, I just do it. It's like anything in life. When it's in front of you and you're passionate and you are about your business, it comes through all the time. You work over and above in many hours in what you do. I don't really get tired. I really don't. I try really hard to watch what I eat. I'm on these, all this good stuff, that really my morning shake and, try not to eat too much meat, but get enough protein. I found when I first started teaching that I was getting a little tired, and I don't get tired. So I thought, what am I doing wrong? Well, I realized I probably wasn't getting enough protein and carbs, in my diet because I was going from one to the other and the other. So I started changing my diet just a little bit, and it's fine. I really love it. That's what the whole secret is. It is.
That's a good secret. So what are some of the challenges that you think that you've faced in making this transition from the work that you used to be doing to being a yoga teacher? We have a lot of women that are listening that are either wanting to work in wellness or they've just started working in wellness, and they might be feeling overwhelmed. They might be feeling like, they're not sure how to make it work. Like, do you have any tips for them?
Well, I think that first of all, as I said, if you're going to go in any business, wellness, anything, you need to know your business. You really, really need to know. In the wellness business, every single day there's so many new discoveries, and it's wonderful. It's very exciting. So I try and keep up on all of that. It's very important that if you're going to be teaching, you know how to do that. And if you don't have passion for it, don't even bother. Don't go into it, because that shows through really quickly. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to help somebody. And I think if you get in this business and you see results of people that have been helped by you, it's such a great feeling. It really is. I mean, I'm so excited about being, you can tell, so excited about being.
Did you have anybody that when you got into yoga that was sort of a role model or a mentor to you, someone that you said, oh, that's, how I'd like to model my career or the type of business I'd like to have?
Not so much a mentor in this business because the only thing I really knew was the yoga I was taking. I wasn't really out into the field. Okay. And I knew a few people. I have a doctor that's an acupuncturist and a nutritionist that I've been going to for 3 years. And God, he's amazing. He's really an amazing person. But I did have mentors in my other businesses, which I think ultimately made me prepare for this, you know. And one of the fellows I met when I was very young, I say very young, I was 27. That's very young right now. And he really taught me business. He saw something in me, he said, that he had not seen in too many women at that time. And so he wanted me to work with him and work for him, and I did. And oh my God, 10 years with working with this man it shaped my life and it shaped my whole idea of business. Because after 20 years, I left the business and I moved to Florida, and then I started my own business. I'm not so sure I ever would have been able to do that without knowing everything and had learned. And then I think Yoga Hari in this business, there you go. See, I wasn't even thinking of him, was definitely a mentor. He he's just an amazing person. And if anybody wants to look up his website and just check him out, he's just an amazing man. And I think anybody in life that raises your consciousness, you meet them every day. If you're lucky, it's teaching you something. And then, of course, life is a great teacher. You just get booped around enough and you learn.
And how important do you think it is to surround yourself with other women? Like you're in my community, the Women in Wellness community. Do you think it's important to have that support group and that kind of like-minded people around you?
I can't even describe to you, although you've probably been described by hundreds of women because this is what you do. When I got your information, and I really can't remember if it was something I saw, on the internet, but I thought, oh my God, this is the woman that I've been waiting to meet. I mean, I knew right away. You go into business and you're small and you're by yourself and you don't have a support system. Oh, sure, you've got friends, you've got family that are going, oh, great job, doing good, but nobody there to push you, nobody there to, interact with and learn from. I can't tell you, if nothing else in this whole trip that I'm on, you have been the most important thing that has come into my life. And the first week we were on the phone call together, you said, okay, well, for your homework, I'm going to do this. And I went, homework? Oh my God, that means we have to answer. But I thought, this is wonderful. This is so exciting. And the other women in the group are amazing. It's amazing. I love being part of this.
Well, we're so happy to have you. I think you're such an inspiration, everything that you're doing. And since I have a personal relationship with you, I know that you are building things out to impact even more people. Can you share any of the stuff with us that you want to do for the future?
Well, definitely. I'm really wanting to go, as I say, into the wellness aspect of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I've recently contacted a woman that I had met several months ago, and she does all kinds of community work, the homeless, the helpless, the people that need it, the disabled. She has asked me to come up with a course in caregiving for caregivers. And I'm very excited about that because dealing with all the cancer patients that I'm dealing with, they have caregivers, they are caregivers. There's so many levels of that and on so many areas that caregivers are important, whether it's dementia or Alzheimer's or cancer or just disabilities. And there's so much that yoga, meditation can teach and help them with this. I'm very excited about doing that.
Can you give us one example of something that someone can do if they're a caregiver and they're feeling burnt out or overwhelmed? Can you give us like one simple thing that they would be able to try?
Well, I think that I'm going to give you two, okay? Because I think that one of the most important things, and one of the things that I always teach in every yoga class that I do, is how to breathe correctly. Because if you learn how to breathe correctly through your nose, out your nose, you can relieve a lot of anxiety. You can become more calm. It goes right to your brain. You focus better. So I think breathing is extremely important for everyone, but especially if you're in a situation where you sometimes things just get out of control and you just don't know what to do. You start doing some deep breathing, and I think that that will really help. 80% of the people in the Western civilization don't breathe correctly. So breathing through your nose and out your nose is important. And the second thing I think is meditation, whether it's mindfulness, it's yoga nidra, it's just regular meditation or guided meditation. When you rest your spine, which is where your nervous center is located, and it rests, all those thoughts that are going through your mind, you know, all the time, I can't do this, oh my God, what if this, and going on and on and on, stop. And that allows your body to rest and your mind to rest. So if you get 20 minutes of meditation a day, that's worth 4 hours of sleep. That's pretty incredible. And I think one of the main things that caregivers have a problem with is they haven't got enough hours in the day to take care of themselves and go to work and their families and be a caregiver too. It's overwhelming. And even if they took a couple of minutes, 5 minutes a day, and put their feet up on the wall, your lymph system, which is 40% of all the liquid water in your body, comes from your extremities. So unlike your heart, which pumps your blood so that it's continually going around, your lymph system comes from your feet, your arms. So it has to go through all the channels in your body, and it produces lymphocytes, which pick up all those little cells, the cancer cells, the viruses, and they take them out of your body. Well, unless you're actually moving around, and you don't have to stand on your head, you know, anytime your head is below your feet is good enough. So if you put your feet up against the wall, not only is that good for your body and your lymph system, but it also helps you sleep better because all that fluid goes into your brain and it just relaxes you. It's such a wonderful way to relax. And if you did that for 5 minutes in the morning or at night, you know, it's interesting. I teach this to everybody. I had a group of men that all had prostate cancer, and I wasn't quite sure how they would take someone with yoga because they were all older gentlemen, and I wasn't sure how they would react to me. So anyway, I went in and I started teaching them how to breathe, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy, but it's okay because after a while they all started doing it. And then I said, and you need to put your legs on the wall, and they're looking at me. So I said, okay. So I went over to the wall, stuck my legs up, and I said, okay, if you did this for 5 minutes, and then I went into the reason why, how healthy. 2 weeks after I did this, I got a phone call from one of the men. He said, I can't tell you how much better I feel just from doing that and from the breathing. I feel so much better, Linda, that I have to start taking your classes. And I teach that to all of the kids in the rehab centers, you know. And this morning I taught a class, and some of them have just come in and they're just not into the yoga. And so I walked around and I said, okay, everybody's going to do the breathing. And then if you really want to help yourself, put your legs on the wall. Well, they love that. So they didn't participate in the whole yoga thing, the asanas. But at the end, I do a long meditation for 20 minutes with them just to relax them.
That's so great. What would you say to women? Sometimes I talk to women and they feel like they've missed the boat. It's too late for them to, you know, change their career and get into like, what would you say to a woman who's listening who thinks like she should just stay where she's at and not make the change? Do you have advice for that?
Well, I gave up a couple of I've had 4 businesses, okay? And through circumstance, some of them I was very happy to get out of, the last one particularly. And then, what do you want to do in your life? Do you really want to sit in the position you're in, stay where you are? And then at the end of your life, look and say, oh God, if only I'd done this, or I wish I had tried that. My advice is do it. And it doesn't make any difference how old you are. You know how old I am, Gabby.
But that's what I love about you, is that you're so fearless. So many people, they seem to get stuck in the position that they're in, and they're afraid to make these changes or follow. You describe this beautiful way of following your heart to the ashram, and so I feel like that's so inspirational, because so many times I think people hold themselves back.
Well, I think if you open your heart, you open your mind. Things come to you every single day. Intuitively, they come to you. And listen to it and go for it. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? So you fail, you get up and you go do something else. But life is meant to be lived. And I think if you have and can do something you really, really want to do, then go for it. Even if you do it part-time while you're doing something else, if you can't afford to leave, do it.
Yes, do it. So if people want to find you and learn more about breathing and putting their feet on the wall and all these yummy things, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find you?
My company is My Restorative Yoga. Okay, I have a website, which is myrestorativeyoga.com. And my number is 406, even though that's an Orlando number. I do live in Boynton Beach in Florida. So it's 406-468-5631. And, right now, in fact, I'm start with a new client on Saturday. Call me if you're around the area, Palm Beach County or Broward. I would love to come and see you or talk to you about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. So I am definitely available. I'm growing, and I'm very excited about this.
And I'm so excited too. I hope everybody reaches out to you. I think it's so beautiful, the work that you're doing, and so necessary.
Oh, and my email address is L, and my last name, which is Scheele, it's SCHEELE @myrestorativeyoga.com. And I'm also on Facebook.
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
Thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much for sharing and having me on your show. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can join the Women in Wellness Club at women-in-wellness.com.